better hope for Zaya Wade than there is for REI. Thus saith the Lord. Let me bring that back. Let me make sure I really lay that out. There is more hope for Zaya Wade. There is more hope for RuPaul than there is for REI. A nigga who got on stage and called Tazadakia the God-sent comforter. Fuck REI. Huh? What? Last night, that Coolio passed. And Coolio was Coolio is monumental to me, being that he's my first favorite rapper. So, I probably was 5 or 6 years old when Gangsta's Paradise came out. It was like the most amazing thing in the world to me. My pops, he worked at a record store. He worked at this record store, Penny Lane on Bridgeport, Lakewood, Washington. Huh? What? A nigga who got on stage and called Tazadakia the God-sent comforter. Fuck REI.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Waha, Wachachodash, Yahweh, which is the one and true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one and true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashimashai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the Servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much this is going to be a response to Alazar. Now, I got scriptures. I'm going to use some examples of some scriptures, right? But I just want to share a couple of things on my point of view of this situation. Now, number one, Alazar, you never met High Priest Ariah. Neither have I ever even seen him teach. Because when he was teaching and when he was doing the works, the ministry, you and I wasn't even born. All right, and people may not know this, but me and Alazar is the same age. I believe I'm older than him by a couple of months. Now, you may have been in the truth longer than me. You probably been in the truth like 12 years. 12 to 7 years is a whole big gap. But what that man did has nothing to do with you. And when he did that at that time, me and you is probably only 4 years old. That was like, what, 96? Me and you was only 4 years old. So who are you to speak on High Priest Ariah and to say all of that when you wasn't even teaching in that time? All right? When One West was around, me and you wasn't even probably born yet. You only 30 years old going on 31. So when High Priest Ariah was teaching, you wasn't even born, And I got some precepts, and we supposed to get high respects to those men. The Lord set those men up for a particular time in those days, man. Back in those days, man. And it's a blessing that we got the truth today. And the elders even admitted, what High Priest Ariah did, he did fall off, but that doesn't stop the ministry of the works that he has done in the past. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't even be able to, you wouldn't even be teaching right now. None of us would be teaching right now. If the Lord would have never gave High Priest Ariah the spirit to break down the 12 tribe chart, who the nation of Israel was, right? The labors that those men have done, right? And you can't speak on those men because you wasn't around. All right. You may have met, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, which I never met those men, but I still highly respect those men. The same way you would respect Elder Tahar, Gabar, Aramlep, and Apostle Rakah. I know you respect them, right? So you should still respect those elders before them, because those men were the elders' teachers. All right. And through the Spirit, the Lord set those men up for a particular time. All right. The Lord had the Spirit on those men for a particular time. Those men labored hard. So, Salakia for the rambling. We just going to get some scriptures out, man. For you to do all that, you want to respect Coolio. Like the elder said, and Coolio was wicked. He was a gang member too. He's from LA. He was a gang member. That dude was a gang member. He did a lot of coke. He snorted a lot of coke. That dude was a drug head, man. This is 1 Timothy 5:19. It says, against an elder receive not an accusation, right? Because even though you may heard of that, you didn't see him do that. You may have heard people say what he did, but you wasn't around when he did that. I wasn't around when he did that. That was in 96. If I'm mistaken, elders brothers correct me. That was in the 90s. And me and you in the 90s, we were kids. You probably knew what a King James Bible was, but you didn't have a understanding the breakdowns then. You wasn't even in the truth then. So who are you to speak against High Priest Ariah when you wasn't even around in that time? And if you weren't around in that time, you wasn't worried about a Bible. You was probably playing Super Nintendo back then, or going outside playing tag, riding a bike. That's what you was doing back then. I was doing that back then. You know, we didn't even know we were Israelites. We were just living our lives like normal kids do on an everyday basis. You know, so who are you to go on stage? Now, if that's your accusation that you have privately off camera, then okay. That's your opinion off camera. But the thing is with you, Jakes, y'all like going publicity stunts. Y'all like going live to talk about your point when your point doesn't fucking matter. Like the Elder Apostle Great Millstone said, this truth isn't about you. All right. All you had was accusations against what High Priest Ariah did, and you wasn't even around in that time. You just going by what you heard, but you wasn't around in that time. So that has nothing to do with you. That doesn't have nothing to do with me, and that doesn't have anything to do with you. You fucking going off for that, and you out of order for that, man. That has nothing to do with you, man. 1 Timothy 5:19, it says, against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Again, in the ancient world, everything was done decently in order. 2 to 3 witnesses, right? So at the end of the day, you're not supposed to speak against a person that you wasn't even around when all of that went down. So that got nothing to do with you. You're gonna say RuPaul and all these other wicked people and put them towards Ariah. That's not even the comparisons. That's like grabbing yellow grass, dead grass, and putting it next to green grass and saying this dead grass right here has way more chances of salvation than this green grass. Fuck this green grass. That's all about this dead grass. That's fucking what you're saying. That don't make no fucking sense. You sound stupid, man. You made yourself look dumb. Now when you go to 1 Timothy 5:1, you know, the scriptures even say, and you know, to also speak, you know, High Priest Ariah isn't even alive to defend himself, and you're just talking all this shit about that man, and he's not even alive to defend himself, and you're just flapping your fucking gums on that thing, just getting attention and affection. See, you Jakes out there, you're attention seekers. You guys don't fear Yahweh Shemashai. You at least have respect for High Priest Ariah. The man can't even defend himself, and you're all up on that live, making your ass look like a fucking clown. Because that's what you look like. You look like a clown, man. And then you're going to go and tell the elders and say, oh, you guys honored him and this, and that. Man, that man did works for the Lord, man. That man did works for the Lord. Now, he may have fell off, but that ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That got nothing to do with either one of us. All right? But the elders of Apostle Great Millstone, they highly gave a tribute to that man for the works and labors that he's done. Because if it wasn't for the Lord's putting a spirit on that man, we wouldn't be able to have the breakdowns today. Those breakdowns that you teaching for your group, for your guys, goes back to High Priest Ariah. So how you going to say fuck him when you teaching every single thing that the elders of Apostle Great Millstone learned from him? So you teaching the doctrine that he taught. If you saying fuck him. So stop teaching that the 12 tribe, don't use the 12 tribe chart. Since you said fuck High Priest Ariah, don't use the 12 tribe chart. Don't use that no more. All right? Don't say that the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Don't teach that doctrine. All right? Don't teach none of that stuff. Because that's what you just basically saying. Because the Lord set him up to put the spirit on him to do that breakdown, to break that, be able for us to receive those breakdowns, man. You know? This is 1 Timothy 5:1. It says, rebuke not an elder. Because you got on stage and you said, oh, the elder, whoever gave honor to Ariah is a clown and all this other shit, and you guys shouldn't do that. Fuck Ariah. Well, you can't rebuke an elder. They've been in this thing 40 years. You've been in this thing 12. You're fucking baby in the truth, man. 12 years old. You know? You're not on the rank of the elders, man. You're not. You can't tell them what they should do and what they're not doing. And you can't say if Ariel made it to the kingdom or not because you're not the Most High. You're not Yahweh Shemashai. You can't determine who's the elect or not. You can't determine that. So you Jakes out there, that's what I said. You Jakes out there that's calling you, that has a spirit that you are to a 1/3, right? And you're saying this person is a 1/3, this person is the elect, this person that. You don't know. How do you know, Alizar? How do you know if you're of the elect? How do you know you're the elect? You could be a 2/3. The things that you're doing can put you in a place of a 2/3. How do you know that you're the elect? I'm just speaking. You may not have said that, but in my opinion, you're speaking on High Priest Ariel. How do you know that you're the elect? Because you could be a 2/3. You don't know that. You know? You guys gotta watch what you fucking say, man. You guys gotta really do things right. 1 Timothy 5:1, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, right? You be up there trying to rebuke the elders, you and your men. Y'all be over there trying to rebuke Great Millstone, rebuke the elders and tell the elders what they doing wrong. No, y'all niggas doing shit wrong. You guys are doing shit wrong. You're reading scriptures with baseball caps on, bulletproof vests, fucking blickies on your hips, slapping people, putting boots on people. That's the scriptures say not to do that. Scriptures just, the Lord said to go out and teach. That's it. You niggas out there putting out a sideshow. You guys looking like fucking clowns at a fucking festival, man, at a fucking circus and shit, man. 1 Timothy 5:1, it says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, right? So you are to not rebuke an elder. You can't tell them what they should have done and what they should have did this. You're putting yourself up there like you're just this mighty uppity guy. You only been in the truth 12 years, bro. And I'm older than you. It don't matter about age, but I'm just saying I'm older than Alizar. Alizar's only 30 years old. He'll be 31 this year. He may got a beard. I ain't got no beard, but I'm older than him by a couple months. You may have been in the truth longer than me, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying you're a fucking young man, bro. You're only 30 years old, man. You know, you're not even as grown as I thought you were. Now we're going to read this, and this is what Peter said. When you read Peter chapter 1, this is what Peter said. And we're going to go into the NLT version too. This is 1 Peter chapter 5:1. So he gives us the instructions on how we are to be. Right? This is 1 Peter chapter 5. It says, the elders which are among you I exhort. It says, who am also an elder, right? It says, and a witness of the sufferings of Yahushua, right? It says, also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Verse 2, it says, feed the flock of Yahweh, right? Which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, and constraint means force, not by force, but willingly, right? Not for filthy lucre, and that word filthy lucre, if I'm saying it right, filthy lucre is meaning self-gain, all right? And it says, but of a ready mind. Verse 3, it says, neither as being lords over Yahweh's heritage, which is this ministry, but being examples to the flock. And that's what it's about. You stepping on stage and doing all that. Now you got everyone that's following you saying the same thing now. Fuck High Priest Ariel. And none of them niggas met him. None of them people was fucking probably around when he was teaching. Alright? None of us was around when he was fucking teaching. We never met that man. Alright? I never seen that man teach. Now they have clips of him teaching, which I've seen, but none of us met him. None of us was even born, and if we were born, we were kids. None of us was even around when that man was teaching. And when that man fell off, you wasn't even around. While Coolio was snorting crack and gang banging, because he from LA. Coolio was from LA. He was a gang member. That nigga smoked crack, a whole lot of shit. He was a drug addict. That dude did a lot of drugs. You want to respect Coolio, but you disrespect High Priest Ariel. You never even met the man. Verse 4, it says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive the crown of glory that fadeth not away. Verse 5, likewise ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. See, and this is why, again, you have to follow men. The Lord set up men to follow. This is a cut to those people out there that believe in following camps. Now, the camp that you should follow, because don't follow all the Hebrew Israelite camps, but you want to follow a specific group of men, and those men are the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. You want to follow those men. All right? So this is a cut for you no camp doctrine Israelites as well. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subjected one to another, and be clothed with humility. Alizar ain't with humility. He's going on there on live stages and talking shit to elders and disrespecting elders, man. Whatever that man has done is between him and Yahweh Shemashai. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You're not the Most High. You can't say who's this and who's that. You're not the Most High. It says, for the Most High resisteth the proud and give grace unto the humble. And that's who the Lord is dealing with. A lot of you jakes have been in this thing for 12 years, and now you're just this big elder. Just because you're able to go into circular points, and you niggas be going off on certain things. You guys be going off on certain things. But to go on stage and make yourself look like this fucking clown up here, you wrong for that, man. You're wrong for that. Yeah, you are wrong for that, man. Your men can get upset. You guys can get offended. But you guys are wrong for that. This is now when you go into the NLT translation, right? It says advice for elders and young men. We're young men in this thing. Alizar, you're a young man. I'm a young man. You've been in the truth longer than me, but me and you are the same age. I'll be 31 before you. Next month, in a couple of weeks, I'll be 31. You'll be 31. I don't know. I forgot when your birthday is. You did a live way back in like 2015 talking about your age and all that. I'm older than you by a couple of months. You know what I mean? It ain't about age, but I'm just saying that's different. You're young, man. You've been in the truth longer than me, though. But at the end of the day, you still respect High Priest Ariel. My point is, High Priest Ariel, the labors that he did, you wasn't born, I wasn't born, so you shouldn't even be speaking on that man. When that man fell off, you wasn't even nowhere in the truth. You didn't know Elder Apostle Tahardin. You did not know Elder Apostle Gabar, Ramla, Apostle Rakai. You didn't even know of GMS, right? And GMS wasn't even around then. GMS came out, GMS, started up in 2007. You wasn't around then. You wasn't even around then. So at the end of the day, all that stuff that happened with High Priest Ariel, you wasn't around. I wasn't around. None of us was around. That ain't got nothing to do with you. The man is dead. That man was a righteous man of the Lord. King David fell. You want to bring scriptures in. What about King David? You guys are you highly respecting King David, right? And King David fell. And King David, he committed adultery, right? King David committed adultery, right? He fell. And King David was a righteous man too. So you had righteous men in the scriptures that fell. So where all this, well, F him, F that. David sinned too. Men fail. That's how the Lord set things up. Everybody has a lot. That's why the elders, Pastor Reed Millstone, always say, each and every one of us individually have a particular lot to play. We don't know what our lot is. Your lot could be to be in the truth for a particular time, and then it could be, that's it. The Lord can use you for a particular time and then draw you out of the truth. It has happened. It has happened to a lot of individuals. But hey, the Lord, that's up to the Lord. Everything is up to the Lord at the end of the day. That's between him and Yahweh Shemashai. That ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, if you feel like you hate High Priest Ariel, you could have kept that to yourself. You didn't have to go on stage and do all that. You didn't have to go on stage and do all that, man. Advice for elders and young men. Well, this is mainly to you. It says, because you call yourself an elder for your guys, right? You call yourself an elder. This is 1 Peter chapter 5. It says, and now a word to you who are elders in the churches. I too am an elder and a witness to the sufferings of Yahushua. It says, and I too will share his glory when he is revealed to the whole world. As a fellow elder, I appeal to you. And this is what Peter said. It says, care for the flock. The flock is us, the Israelites. The people that watches your videos, the people that follow you, the people that tune into you. You got J Israelites that watch your lessons, that watch your videos. And however you present, that's why the scripture is saying for that 1 Timothy, be ye examples to the believers. You got to be an example. That is a wrong example how to be. You're going to go on stage and you're going to talk all this shit about High Priest Ariel. You never met the man. When the man fell, you was not in the truth yet. You was not in the truth. That was way before you, man. You was not in the truth. I wasn't in the truth. So why am I going to speak bad about High Priest Ariel when I ain't never met the man? Now, we have heard stories of him. All right? We've seen clips of him doing the works, doing the ministry. But you and I, or anybody that's born in 1990, if you was born in 1990 on down, you should not be speaking about High Priest Ariah because you wasn't around then. You wasn't around then. I was born in 92. I wasn't around then. None of us was around then. If you was born in 1990, all the way down, you shouldn't be talking about High Priest Ariah. You never fucking met the dude. That man was teaching in righteousness. The Lord used him for a particular time, man. That man was in the truth. That man gave us the capabilities to be able to break these down, break the scriptures down, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai. You know, the elders paid tribute to that man because they learned from that man. You know, and I respect that. You know, he did fall off. They said they even admitted it. Elder Apostle Gabar admitted it. He said he fell off, right? But that don't mean that you don't have to give him recognition for the works that he's done. Because if it wasn't for the Lord putting the spirit on him, we never would have had the breakdowns today. You wouldn't be up there teaching that you're an Israelite. You wouldn't be able to do that today. So you can't do that, man. It says, care for the flock that the Most High has entrusted to you. Watch over it willingly, not grudgingly, no, not for what you will get of it. See? Because that's what the fuck he's doing. It says, but because ye are eager to serve the Most High. See? That's what it should be about. You serving the Lord. You just trying to make a title and a name for yourself. It says, don't lord it over the people assigned to your care, but lead them by your own. Look at that. It says, but lead them by your own good example. So that's how you supposed to be. He calls himself an elder, and you call yourself a chief priest. So you supposed to be a good example for the believers, for the flock. And you supposed to lead them by your own good example. You supposed to be a good example for your flock, which you're not. You're not a good example for the flock. It says, and when the great shepherd appears, that's talking about Yahushua. It says, you will receive a crown of never-ending glory and honor. See? So there you go. Verse 5, it says, in the same way, you who are younger must accept the authority of the elders. See? So you supposed to follow order given. And like I said, if you learned from Great Millstone, you still supposed to be giving respects to High Priest Ariah because that man was their teacher. He's our elder because he's the elder before us. You know, going all the way back to Rabbi Abba Bivens, High Priest Rabbi Abba Bivens, man. I never met him. I wasn't alive. You didn't even see him teach. You wasn't alive. Especially when Elder High Priest Rabbi Abba Bivens, you never met him, right? Elder High Priest King Masha, you never met him, right? Elder High Priest Yaquab, you never met him, right? Elder High Priest Ariah, you never met him. Those men that I just named, none of us was born. We weren't around. All right? We weren't around. You wasn't around. So you shouldn't be speaking disrespectful about those men because you never met them. Now, you may have heard stories, right? But that still don't give you the right to speak bad about somebody because you never met them. You can't speak bad. You can't speak bad on High Priest Ariah because you never met him. That's the main point. How you going to speak bad about somebody you ain't never fucking met? That don't make no sense. How you going to speak bad about somebody you never know? You never met him. You can't speak bad on somebody you never met. Verse 5, it says, in the same way, it says, you who are younger must accept authority of the elders. And that's how it's supposed to be in the ministry, but it's not like that in the ministry. You got bugged out individuals here doing that, doing this, doing that, being prideful, talking back to the elders, not following instructions given. They're not doing that. You got them rebelling. It says, and all of you dress yourselves in humility. He's not dressing himself in humility. He's going on stage and he's talking bad about High Priest Ariah and he never met him. That's the point. You never met him. It says, as you relate to one another, for Yahweh opposes the proud, but give grace to the humble. See? That's the main thing. The Lord opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. So you're not supposed to go up there with your accusations. And I say accusations, elders and brothers, because I never met High Priest Ariah. I never seen him teach. I seen videos. I can't speak bad about him because when he was teaching, I wasn't alive. It goes to you, Alazar. You can't have accusations against him because you wasn't born when he was teaching. That was way before our time. That was way before our time, bro. You can't speak bad about a man that you never even met. Yeah, you may have heard stories. You heard stories. But by you going on stage and saying he did this, did that, you're still throwing accusations because you wasn't around at that time, at that moment. You're throwing accusations out. You can't do that. Now, if you met High Priest Ariel and you actually studied under him, like Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Tahar, Gabar, Ramlip, right? If you actually studied under him, you actually met the man, you actually been around him, that's a different story. But you ain't did none of that. So you're still throwing an accusation out against him because you never met him. All right? It would be different if you actually met him and actually been around him, but you ain't been around him. So you're throwing accusations out, man. And you could be destroyed for that. You gonna go up there and say, fuck Ariel, this is that. You never met him, man. That's the thing. You never met him. That's the thing. If you met him, that's something different. But you never met the man. You never actually got to know the man. You didn't actually sit down and had a meal with the man and actually talk with the man. You didn't do any of that with him. So you can't do that, man. This is 1 Timothy 5:19. It says, against an elder receive not an accusation. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, though. It says, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Right? 2 or 3 witnesses. So in that time, I'm just using as an example in the scripture, 2 to 3 witnesses had to catch you doing something. They had to catch you literally doing something. 2 to 3 witnesses. And then it will be reported to the Levitical priest, and then they will decide what they do. Most of you be put to death breaking the laws or something like that. But I'm just giving an example. You can't throw no false accusations out. You can't be doing that. And that's what you're doing. You're throwing out accusations. Things that you have heard, right? You wasn't around then. So that's the main point. You was not around then. So, it's easy to go up here and say these things, but you wasn't around then. That's the point. And you're only 30 years old going on 31. So you wasn't around then. You can't speak about somebody that you ain't ever fucking met. That's the point.
There is better hope for Zion Wade than there is for Ariel. Thus saith the Lord.
Where's that in the scriptures? And are you the Lord? You can't say who's the elect and who isn't. You're not the Lord. You're not Yahweh Shemashai. You can't say who's this and who's that. You can't do that. You're not the Lord. You can't predestinate a high priest Ariel what's going on up there. You don't know. You don't know. That's between Yahweh Shemashai and him. You're not Yahweh Shemashai. You can't do that. You can't say who's this and who's that. You can't do that, dude. You're going off. You're fucking going off on that. You can't determine again. You can't say who's this and who's that. You're not Yahweh Shemashai. This is why we say Jake's out there that's putting yourself up as this big guru. You're going to be destroyed doing that. You can't say who's the elect. You can't say who's the elect. Just perfectly. That's what he's saying. Oh, RuPaul has this better than him. You're not Yahweh Shemashai. You can't do that. That's what he's doing. You can't fucking do that shit, man. You made yourself look like an ass on that stage, man. You speaking on shit that ain't got nothing to do with you, and you wasn't even around. That's being a busybody right there. You're getting involved in something that ain't got nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you, man. So wait, man, this man made himself like a fucking clown in front of a lot of people. And so I say, you guys out there, man, is claiming to be these men of the Lord. You guys got to start examining that pride demon is running rampant amongst Israel, man. So wait, I'm going to end it there with that. I just wanted to give my little points on that. Lord, want us lessons edifying. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Yahweh Kachodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I've learned the truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole for the leg, and shalom to you, sincere brother scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the Servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. Yeah, man. So this is why, again, this guy is mainly about vainglory, and he's an attention seeker. This is what you call attention seeking, and it's going to cause you to be destroyed. You're speaking about a man that you have not ever met in your life. You shouldn't even be saying nothing. You shouldn't be saying nothing. You should be thanking the Lord Yahweh Shemashai for setting that man up in that time to do the works and labors that he's done onto this very moment. Because if the Lord never put the spirit on High Priest Ariel, we wouldn't be able to have the basics, man. We wouldn't be able to have the scriptures, man. We wouldn't be able to have the breakdowns, the proper basic breakdowns, man. Because you teach the same thing that High Priest Ariel taught. So if you say fuck him, then you need to take down the 12 tribe chart. Don't teach that shit no more. You might as well let all that shit go. So, hey, man, you guys got to think before you fucking just start flapping gums. You got to use your head first. Lord willing, us is edifying. Until next time I say, shalom.